Ashe. Ashe is the word, the source of I and I ancestors. Ashe is the source that holds all things together. Ashe is I source, I shield, and I protector. Ashe is I shield. Ashe is I source, I guide, and I provider. Ashe is I source, and that is why I am not black. Ashe is I source. I cannot be lack. Ashe is I source, I light, and I deliverer. Ashe is I source, I healer, and I teacher. Ashe is I source, I leader, and I spiritual fire. Ashe is I source, I strength each day. I be more and more. Ashe is I source, I spiritual comforter. Each day I be more stronger. Ashe is I source, I sustainer. Each day my life is filled with more pleasure. Ashe walk with I daily to much green and greener pastures. Ashe walk with I beside some very cold and deadly waters. Ashe walk I through the valley of blackness and under the shadow of blackness. And so I fear no evil or what the devils may try to do. For it's Ashe, I say. Ashe, 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 I say. To you all, my highly enriched melanin, my highly enriched carbon skin, brothers and sisters, my fellow Africans, Mother Earth's original, Mother Earth's natural native and organic humans, the world over. It is I, the Mystic Philosopher, and welcome back one and all to this another perspective with I, the Mystic Philosopher. It's high time for reason and for reasoning. Now, as it is my custom to do, please let me take this opportunity right here and now and say goodwill to all those of you that have given and those of you that may give and all those of you that will give of your very limited resources. Your very limited resources, also known as your very precious time, just to join in, just to watch and listen to this video broadcast and podcast. Goodwill to all those of you that take time out to subscribe to my YouTube channel called The Right Number, and also to my blog post at themysticp.com. Goodwill to all those of you that may or that will take time out to donate and support what I'm doing. I appreciate it. And especially goodwill to all those of you that have, that may and that will purchase my music and messages in songs. The link is right below in the description area. So please listen to my songs. You can listen to them for free. And if you wish, you can also have them for free. But I appreciate a donation so I could do more. By supporting them, I will be able to produce more. And there's a lot more where those came from. Goodwill to all those of you that may or that will take time out to participate in the discussions, to critique and to write comments. Goodwill to all those of you that may or that will intelligently, informatively, and respectfully rebut with the honest intent of highlighting or correcting any and all possible statements or information that you might perceive to be erroneous and misleading, or that you can or that you may prove to be incorrect and misleading. From my Mystic Philosopher's perspective, I'm not really interested in exposing people's ignorance, but I'm also interested in what you know that I don't know. So if you can take time to present your reasoning, I'm open to listen. Goodwill and goodwill to all those of you that will share your own perspectives on any of the topics that are covered in this or any series of lecture presentations by I, the Mystic Philosopher. Welcome, thank you, and goodwill to you all. Now, the title of this lecture or this podcast, blog post, is Equality or Revenge. Which would you choose? It's another perspective by I, the Mystic Philosopher. It is also part of my series of presentations called Redemption from the Curse of the Black Spell, aka the Black Spell. Equality or Revenge. Now, recently, during the protest over the extremely savage and brutal police killings of another of our melanin brothers, namely George Floyd, a merciless and vicious, savage, extremely savage murder or killing that was captured live on video. I watched and listened to a video interview in which a sister by the name of Pastor Kimberly Jones spoke very truthfully, very passionately, and very intentionally about our enemies, the forces and forces of evil, and the injustices that they have brought and is bringing up on us, bringing up on our people and our community. And there is just this one comment or this one statement. In fact, it was her last comment or her last statement from her interview that I would like to both comment on and share my perspective on in this video. And I'll quote her. It was the last comment in her interview. And I quote, "And they are lucky that what black people are looking for is equality and not revenge," unquote. But before I do share my perspectives and delve into this and dissect this, my perspectives on it, before I do, I would first like to talk a bit about intention, or about this thing called intention. Because if you haven't already known, then hopefully by the end of this my lecture presentation, you too will know and understand that everything that we consciously and sensibly say and do is predicated or based on this thing called intention. And this statement by this young woman, namely Pastor Kimberly Jones, and again I quote, "And they are lucky that what black people are looking for is equality, not revenge," unquote. This her statement is predicated on intention. Now, what is intention and what are intentions? A lot has been said about this word intention over the years. A lot of books have been written about it. A lot of lectures have been given and lessons taught about it. A lot of great speakers and preachers, etc., have spoken on it or about it. And a lot of meanings, interpretations, teachings, doctrines, exhortations, and even philosophies have been derived from it or from this thing called intention. In fact, one of the most popular books that was written and spoken during the early 2000s on intention was written by the late American self-help author and motivational speaker, known as Dr. Wayne Dyer. And the book is called The Power of Intentions. I said spoken, written and spoken because it can still be had as an audiobook. So if you have no time to read that book, you can also listen to it while you ride or drive. Now, according to Dr. Dyer, and I quote, "The power of intention is the power of a focused mind." He continued, "When focusing our mental energy on something, we are able to give more of our brain power to it." Unquote. That's Dr. Wayne Dyer from the book Power of Intention. However, and no doubt you too shall shortly see and understand that from the Mystic Philosopher's perspective, intention in and by itself is not power, but it is only potential power. I intend to show and prove that intentions are great. Intentions are the root of all causes. Intention is and intentions are where things all began. But it is this, I intend to show that it is the spoken word or the spoken or written words that bring about the effects. It is the spoken or written words that bring things into existence, things into being. It is spoken or the written words that cause our intentions to manifest into reality. As this saying goes, and he spake and it was done. And he commanded and it stood fast. And we speak, and as we speak, so shall it be done. And as we command, so shall it manifest. Intention, cause, then effect, or effects. So what are intention from the Mystic Philosopher's perspective? Before I answer that question and give my perspective and interpretation on this thing called intention, please let me humbly remind you, my listeners, that this is not my language or the language of my most honorable African ancestors. This is not my natural language or my mother tongue, and nor are the words that I am hereby using. This is, just to remind you, this is an alien language to my spirit and to my being and to the spirits of my most honorable African ancestors and my ancestral God and gods. This is the language of my most honorable African ancestors, vile and malevolent aggressors the barbaric alien invaders, conquerors, colonizers, slave traders, slave masters, murderers, enslavers and oppressors, and by extension today, their heirs and successors' language, aka the English or the British language. This is my colonizers' language, and quite unlike some of you, my melanin brothers and sisters that are system educated, system trained, sanctioned, and status approved by our colonizers. And consequently, you love to boast and show off how proficient you are in using and speaking our oppressors and masters' language as if it is yours or as if it is ours. I, the mystic philosopher, do not experience or in the least enjoy such pleasure. In fact, it grieves my spirit just to know that because of the evil that these malicious humankind have brought upon my people and upon the earth in general, that I now have to pollute my natural mind with their concepts and my tongue with their words. I, the mystic philosopher, do not in any way, shape, or form enjoy knowing of a fact that even though the chains and the yoke might be physically gone from my neck, physically gone from my hands and my feet, but I am still being mentally colonized by their language and their words, aka their mental colonization. But I will not spend any more time on this topic here because I have already dealt with it in great details elsewhere in another lecture. So again, what are intentions, or what is intention from I, the mystic philosopher's perspective? The English word, the oppressor's word, the colonizer's word, or my oppressors and colonizers' word, intention by meaning and definition is, and I quote, a thing intended or aimed, or rather, or aim or plan. Let me repeat. And I quote, a thing intended, an aim or plan, unquote. But please let me break it down a bit further for you. Careful observation will affirm that at the root of the word intention is the word tent. At the root of the word intention is the word tent. T-E-N-T. Further examination will also show and prove that the word intention is itself a compound word, or if you prefer, it's three words joined together to form the one word intention. Namely, the three words, namely, the word or the prefix in. The first word of the three is the word in, which is the prefix. Prefix, as you know, at the beginning. Then we have the root word or the stem word, tent, T-E-N-T, and the suffix, ion. And as I've already explained in some of my other lectures elsewhere, that the word tent, as regarding its use here, means mind. Tent, mind. And that tent is just another word for mind. And thus, intent simply means what is in mind. or what is in our minds. The suffix ion means and denotes action or condition. In other words, the action, it denotes the action or condition that is taking place in mind or in the mind or in our minds, aka that's intention. Now, a lot of things such as inklings, notions, ideas, concepts, thoughts, etc. can be roaming around, bubbling and taking place in our minds. But they have not yet taken shape. They have not yet identified individually. They have not been individually focused or formed, aka, which is also known as, have not yet become informed. They are in the mind, but they have not yet taken form. When they become informed in the mind or formed in the mind, then they are called our intention or our intentions. When they are formed in our mind. I've also dealt with that elsewhere. As mentioned above, intentions, aka fully developed, formed, and well-informed thoughts. Let me repeat, if you did not get that. Intention, which is also known as our fully developed, or fully focused, and well-informed thoughts and ideas by themselves are not powerful. But they are only potential power, or they are only potentially powerful. In order for them to become powerful, a ritual or some rituals have to take place, or also known as some ritual has to be performed in order for intentions to be made manifest and to manifest themselves into practical reality. And simply put, that ritual is the spoken word and the spoken words. And thus we have topics and subjects such as the power of words, the power of the written words, the power of the spoken words, the power of signs and symbols, or rather the power of signs and the symbolic words, the power of the symbolic words, the power of the tongue, the power of the lips and the mouth, the instruments, which are the instruments through which words are spoken. From the Mystic Philosopher's perspective, the power of words, sound vibrations, cannot be underestimated and should never be underestimated in having our will be done, and for our will to be done, or in order that our will be done. And if we don't use the right words and say what we truly intend to say, our intentions, our will not and cannot manifest and become a reality. And nor will we or can we do what we intend to do. However, let me hasten to point out the fact that because this is not our language, these are not our words that we are using to will our intentions, then we are significantly handicapped in our effort to effectively cast and broadcast spells especially when we intend or when we are casting or broadcasting spells on our enemies and manifest most of our intentions. We are at a serious disadvantage. Our efforts and intentions are being sabotaged. And most of the time they become completely ineffective or null and void. In fact, if we were speaking our natural, native language, know the art of speaking it well. When you tell an enemy drop dead, then drop dead. But we're at a disadvantage using our enemy's language. But I have already dealt with that elsewhere, and may have more to say on it later. But this is also a topic that I've already covered in details elsewhere. The power of words, the power of intentions, and making things manifest. We are at a serious disadvantage because our minds are colonized by our enemies with their language. But let me get back to my prepared notes. For example, if you intend to sow, let me give some example what I'm talking about here. If you intend to sow or if you intend to plant, in Jamaica we say plant. So, sow or plant seeds of corn, if that's our intention. If we intend to sow or plant seeds of corn with the honest intention of reaping an abundance of corn come harvest time, and you laboriously went through all the process of preparing, fertilizing, watering the soil, but unfortunately because you don't know or you didn't know the difference between corn seeds and, let's say, peas seeds. So you ended up sowing or you ended up planting peas instead of corn. And when time for harvest, with much regrets and disappointment, you notice that there is no corn. And still not deterred, you went back and repeat the process. You plant peas, and the same thing happened year after year. And you keep asking yourself and wondering why corn is not coming forth. Why I'm not reaping corn. It is because though your intentions are good or were good, you are simply planting the wrong seeds, or you were simply planting the wrong seeds. Unbeknown to you is the fact that enveloped or encapsulated in the seeds that you are planting are energies, data, information that are coded in the DNA or in the seed's DNA to produce peas and not corn. So regardless of how well your intentions are, how well formed they are, if to use the wrong word or the wrong seed, as you shall shortly see, to have it manifest, they won't manifest. And that's why a lot of things we are trying, my people, and saying ain't happening. But again, I said, I don't want to stray too far because I've already covered this in another lecture. Well, and for your information, words are seeds. Or if you prefer, words are likened unto seeds. Enveloped, contained, or encapsulated in each of the words that we use as part of our ritual to manifest our intentions are not just their meanings, definitions, and their part of speech, etc., according to the grammatical rule of the language. But they are energies, vibrations, entities, characters, spirits, information, instructions, and commands, etc., etc., that are enveloped in every word. You ever wonder why on the alphabet they call each they call it either a letter or a character, because each letter or each character has its own unique characteristics, spirits, etc., etc. Let me not stray. So within these things are information, instructions, and commands, etc., that are therein encoded in the word. Every word is like a bullet, a package, encoded in order to produce desired results, if or when used correctly. Man. Now I heard somebody asking the question, Mystic, what do you mean by rituals or ritual? As in your statement, the words that we use as part of our ritual to manifest our intentions. Well, yes, I mean ritual. And just for your information, the art of speaking using words, aka audible sound vibrations, is a ritual. It involves your mind, it involves your thinking faculties, it involves your physical brain, it involves your tongue and your mouth, etc. working together and in the right order to connect with spirit for the sole purpose that thy will be done. But again, this is a whole topic in and by itself that I have covered elsewhere. And so I went through all that explanation just to show you and hopefully prove to you the power of words. Or, to be even more precise, the power of these things that we called words. And that it is extremely important for us who know and understand these facts to carefully and wisely choose the words that we use and are using to express ourselves, to communicate with our source and sources, and to communicate with each other. For the words we use will either build us up or tear us down. It will either destroy us or reinforce us. They will either cast and broadcast spells of goodness, spells of goodwill on us, or they will cast and broadcast spells of blackness, also known as evil. Blackness equal evil and bad omen on us. They will either unite us or they will divide us. They will either be more us or bless us, be less us. So either you want to be more or you want to be less, pick your choice. The words we use. In fact, I'll get right back to this, but let me just quickly point out something that just show you the power of words and when it is used constantly and with intention and direction. I listened to a sister by the name of, from time to time, having to do with African news, Dr. Mumbi. I think, to be honest, I think she's the first person I heard using this phrase, the divided kingdom and the divided states of America. And I noticed since it has been used regular, and a lot of people are using it, I noticed the effects that is happening. The kingdom are becoming more and more and more divided. When everybody was talking about the United Kingdom and the United States, they had so much power they could tell the mountain to move and it moved. Now they're talking to just a little country and they seem as if everybody is losing respect for the power they once held, because just Just the pronunciation of these words. Keep saying it and you'll see what happens. Become totally divided. And once it's become totally divided, then their real enemies will come in and conquer them. But I'm just telling you the power of words here. Thanks to Dr. Mumbi. I heard her was the first. I give credit where credit is due. She was one of the first person I heard using that. And now I heard a lot of other people using it. But I'm just, want to mention it here. The power of words. So I'm saying, if you want to be more or be less, careful of the words that you use. And again, let me remind you that we are at a disadvantage because we are using the enemy's language, the enemy's words. But then again, I want straight to have a lot to cover. And just to remind you, my people, that we are at a very serious disadvantage just because of the fact that we have to use our enemy's language and their words, and because of their colonization of our minds. Please note the following facts that most of you, if not all of you, with activated common sense will no doubt admit to. We have to think in their language, in their words. All of our thoughts are in their language. That's a fact. We talk in their language because they colonize our minds with their language. Remember, they have stripped us from our language, from our culture, from our ancestral practices, and even our gods. Their language colonizes our minds. So yes, we can boast about, I hear people talking about independence and freedom, but the greatest colonization is not when they come in and take over the land. It's not when they come in and kill, murder, and claim the land like what they do here in North America and all over the world. But if you notice one thing that they do, they always suppress the natives' language. They put down all other people's language because they know the minute you have to speak in their language, they have us under total colonization. But that is also a topic that I've dealt with elsewhere, and I have a lot here to talk about. And I want to stray because there's so much to talk about. Yes. So please, we have to think in their language, in their words. In other words, all of our thoughts are in their language. We talk in their language. We write in their language. We store and share our secrets in their language. We pray to our gods in their language. We try to communicate with the spirits of our ancestors in their language. Look at that, brethren. My people. How effective we think we can be when we have to, if we use the ritual word, sound, vibration to communicate with spirits, and we are trying to communicate with our ancestors who have no knowledge of the enemy's language. And here we are trying to work miracles. And the miracles ain't happening, and you wonder why. Sometimes our ancestors ain't, and we didn't get the response, and we say, oh, instead of thinking more about how to communicate with our ancestors, some of us turn and start to call upon the enemy's God. Because they trick us, they control our minds with their language. So everything we say, every time we try to reach out to our ancestors, they filter it. And it's like you're in prison. When you're in prison and if there is a letter come, the prison guard or whatever, everybody read it. They know your secrets. And if they don't want to get it, you don't get it. If you post a letter to somebody, you understand the gist. That I've covered elsewhere. Let me pick up back where I left off here. Yes, so I have to talk. We store our secrets. We store and share our secrets in the language. We pray to their gods in their language. We try to communicate with the spirits of our ancestors in their language. We work and do our business in their language. We fight them in their language. We eat and drink in their language. We sleep in their language. We make love in their language. We hate in their language. We dream in their language. We study and learn in their language. Just name it. And you will realize that almost everything that we think, say, or do is done in and through their language. And that is evidence that we are not at all free. And nor can we be truly free from them if our minds are colonized by them. These are also facts that I have covered in other lectures as well, but much more on that at another time. Again, let me continue to dissect my young sister's quote. Again, I'll quote her. And they are lucky that what black people are looking for is equality and not revenge. And they are lucky. And the day being made mention of here, I am confident and assured, are the Caucasian or the Caucasoid race of humankind that falsely and deceptively called, named, listed, and exalted themselves as white and as the white people. And that my people, the highly melanin or the highly carbon enriched people, aka my fellow African people, ignorantly and erroneously called, named, and also called, named, and exalted as white, as the white people. For those of you, my listeners, that have been listening to my series of lecture presentations titled The Redemption from the Curse of the Black Spell, aka the B-Lack Spell, and other of my talks, my songs, and my semi-dub poetries over the years, and some of my writings over the years, you know and understand that I, the Mystic Philosopher, do not call, name, exalt, or refer to Caucasian or the Caucasoid humankind as white and as white people, period. Because, and as I have said elsewhere, that with maybe the exception of the scholar of their eyes, maybe some of them teeth, maybe their hair, maybe, and maybe the clothes or the coat or hoods that they might be wearing. The evidence has shown, and the evidence will no doubt continue to show, that there is absolutely nothing about them that is white. Be it physically, mentally, spiritually, biologically, historically, morally, racially, or otherwise. There is absolutely nothing about them that is in the least white. And from my perspective, unless a person is an imbecile or is totally engulfed in gross ignorance, and unless a person is being a chronic victim of Satan's deceptions or is intellectually dishonest, then no human of sound mind and integrity can or will knowingly and intentionally call, name, list, exalt, or refer to a Caucasian or a Caucasoid humankind as white. You also know and understand that I do not intentionally or deliberately call, name, list, or refer to my own people, my melanin, my fellow Africans as black. I do not intentionally or deliberately do it. or as Negro, or as any of its known synonyms. And if or when I do refer to you or refer to someone as black, or call any of my people black, it is done as it is not done as a compliment or as a goodwill gesture. But I do so only because to whom it may concern, they truly meet the requirements and thus truly deserve to be called, named, labeled, carded, listed as black or as any of its synonyms. You all know my firm and you all know my firm if you have been following me and listen to any of my other videos in this series, and I've done quite a few. You all know my firm and unapologetic stance on the word black that I have proclaimed and is proclaiming for well over 12 years right here on the internet. You all know my unapologetic stance on that word, and that it is a curse word, an evil spell, that it is an evil spell, aka the B-Lack spell. That is a bad omen that has been cast and broadcast upon us, and that it is being cast and been casting, that it has been casting and broadcasting upon us daily. And that if as a people we do not wise up, take some time and look into these things, what I'm saying, and change the name in order to change the game, then our situation, our condition under the oppression, under the colonization, mental and physical and our, under the abuse, all these that is happening to us will remain the same until. But I honestly think that I have already dealt with that topic exhaustively enough in prior lectures. So those of you that might be listening to me for the first time and are interested in learning more, I ask that you please check out all my other videos on this subject right here on my YouTube channel called The Right Number. Check out the series of presentations called The Redemption from the Curse of the B-Lack Spell. And also check out my music and the songs, the messages in songs. I'm not an entertainer. I don't sing to entertain. I just use it as a medium to, convey messages. Now please let me now continue dissect my young sister's quote. Again I quote, and they are lucky that what black people are looking for is equality and not revenge. Unquote. There is an old proverbs or an old saying that my late mother, who is now a most honorable ancestor, and other old folks used to say to us as children, and I quote, she would say, and others would say, be careful what you ask for, or be careful what you wish for, because it might not turn out to be what you really and truly expect it to be or want it to be. Unquote. Now, what is equality? As I said, we should be interested, as the sister said, they should be lucky that what they are looking, black people are looking, is not revenge. Is equality and not revenge. So what is equality? I, the Mystic Philosopher, is here to give you another perspective. What is equality and what is revenge? In one of my last lecture presentations titled Justice or revenge. Is there a difference? Another perspective by I, the Mystic Philosopher. I have already meticulously explained and in much detail and share my perspective and interpretation of what the word and the thing called revenge is. I ask that you also check out that video. And just to quickly recap, I told you that the word revenge, according to one Google search dictionary, you can verify this for yourself, is, and I quote, 1, the action of inflicting hurt or harm on someone for an injury or wrong suffered at their hands. 2, inflict hurt or harm on someone for an injury or wrong done to someone else. Unquote. That's the definition according to one Google search dictionary for revenge. I also told you that justice, by meaning and definition, is, and again I quote, just behavior or just treatment, the quality of being just, impartial, and fair, unquote. I also told you that justice by meaning, I told you that from my perspective, from I, the Mystic Philosopher's perspective, interpretation, and understanding, justice, or the thing called justice, is synonymous with revenge. In other words, justice is, true justice is true revenge. I also gave you some more synonyms for the word revenge. I told you that according to the said English dictionary, the word revenge is synonymous to and is the same as the words vengeance, retribution, retaliation, reprisal, requital, recriminations. Example, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, revenge, justice, tit for tat, measure for measure, getting even, redress, satisfaction, repayment, payback, etc., etc. Unquote. I told you that from all the meanings and definitions of the word revenge, that we must honestly admit and affirm that we cannot honestly and sincerely look for revenge or seek revenge if we are not honestly looking for justice and asking for justice. And vice versa. We, meaning we cannot honestly and sincerely look for justice or seek justice if we are not honestly looking for revenge and asking for revenge. And that anything or any argument to the contrary is possible evil, dishonest. And finally, for now, I told you that from my perspective, not only must justice be done, but it must also be seen to be done. Or not only must revenge be done, but it must also be seen to be done. So with those facts and understanding thereof, let me therefore spend the rest of my time in this lecture, focus on answering the question, what is equality? Now to answer, let us carefully observe and then dissect the word equality. Here again, we notice that like almost all English words, it too is a compound word. Simply put, let us say that it is, in this case, it is made up of the root word or the stem word equal and the suffix ity, ity, ity. Here are some relevant facts that I think I should also mention here. The word equal, according to the English dictionaries, can also function as an adjective, a noun, or a verb. So it can function as an adjective, a noun, or a verb. And according to one Google search dictionary, if or when it is used as an adjective, it is defined as, and I quote, being the same in quantity, size, degree, or value. That is when the word equal is used as an adjective. Being the same in quantity, size, or degree, or value. Examples, when it is used as an adjective. Add equal amount of water and flour. 2. Having the ability or resources to meet a challenge. Example, the players prove equal to the task. That is again when the word is used as an adjective. And if or when it is used as a noun, it is defined as, and I quote, a person or thing considered to be the same as another in status or quality. Example, we all treat each other as equals. Unquote. And if or when it is used as a verb, it is defined as be the same as in number or amount. Example, 4 plus 6 divided by 2 equals 5. Unquote. The word or the suffix ity, by meaning and definition according to the English dictionary, named yourdictionary.com, and I quote, suffix ity is defined as the state of being something. An example of ity is possibility, which is the state of being possible. Unquote. So now we have an understanding of the prefix, the root, and the noun for the word equality. And thus, the word equality by meaning and definition is the state of being equal. Quote, equality, the state of being equal, especially in status, rights, and opportunities. Unquote. Let me now continue to dissect and unpack my young sister's quote again. And they are lucky that what black people are looking for is equality and not revenge. From my perspective, for a human or a person to be looking for equality with another human or with another person, again, equality meaning for a human or a person to be looking to be equal and the same in every respect of the word to another human or to another person, or for another human or person to be asking for equality with another human or person, then again, equality meaning asking to be equal and the same with another person is consciously or unconsciously, or both consciously and unconsciously saying, implying, and admitting that one person is better than, or that one person is superior to the other person that is asking and looking for equality. In other words, one human or one person is or has proven him or herself to be the epitome of what a human or a person should be. What a human or a person can be. The epitome of what a human or a person should be, or what a human or a person can be, and what a human or a person must be or must become. Or else, why would one want, or why would one will to be equal to another? I assure you that we all agree that no one in their sane or right mind wants to be less than. No one wants to be less than anyone or anything. That's why You want to be something that you think is greater than or superior to your status. From my perspective, this thing called life and life's journey is all about becoming. Or just to make it simpler, for some to understand, this thing called life and life's journey is all about coming to be. So we always want or intend or want to, to be greater, become more. And if someone is already there, you look to them as an example, and that's the equality you want. Anyway. And for your information, the word epitome by meaning and definition is a person or thing that is a perfect example of a particular quality or type, unquote. And the same is true for a group or race of people. To be looking for equality with another group or race of people. Equality again meaning for a group or race of people to be looking to be equal and the same in every respect of the word to another group or race of people. Or for a group or race of people to be asking for equality with another group or race of people. And again, equality meaning to be equal in every sense of the word to another group or another race of people. It is to consciously or unconsciously, or both consciously and unconsciously, say or saying, implying or and admitting that one group or one race of people is better than and superior to the other group or race of people. In other words, one group or one race of people have proven itself to be the epitome of what a group or race of people should be. What a group or race of people can be. And what a group or race of people must be or must become. Or else, why would one race or one group of people want to be equal to the other group or the other race of people if they don't think, believe, or know that they, meaning the other group or race of people, are better than them? Now, with that said, the question that I would ask here, and that you all, my fellow melanin, my fellow African people, ask yourself, and that you think very carefully about it before you answer yourself. And one that I will also publicly answer and share my unapologetic and uncompromised interpretation and perspective on shortly. And the question is this: are Caucasian people, aka the Caucasoid race of humankind, are they the epitome of what we should be? Are they the epitome of what we can be? Are they the epitome of what we must become? Are they the epitome of what we are becoming? I ask that you ask yourself these questions. As I've said before, I will most definitely have much more to say on this and on these questions shortly. Now back to my sister's statement and the search for equality. Quote, and they are lucky that what black people are looking for is equality and not revenge. First, please let me set the record straight. For any of us melanin African people, melanin or African people, to intelligently and sensibly ask for equality and to sensibly expect that we can or that we will receive equality again, aka fair and equal treatment from a people and in their system, is to first think, believe, or know that the people and their system are just. That the people, we have to first know that the people and their system are just and that they are fair and righteous. And that the administrators of their system are also just fair, and righteous. If at all we're going to expect fair treatment and justice from them. However, on the contrary, if we think, believe or know and know of a fact that the people are evil, if we know of a fact that the people are evil, that their system are corrupt and impartial, and that the administrators of the system are also corrupt and impartial. If we know this, then to ask for equality and to expect to receive fair and equal treatment from them is evidence of our insanity. Just ask yourselves these questions. How or why would we and should we expect justice and equality from an unjust and impartial system, from an evil system? How or why would we expect justice and equality from some wicked and abominable people? Do you or do we sensibly and honestly think or even believe that our lives really matter and truly matter to them? So according to Pastor Kimberly Jones, who is asking to be equal with whom? Or who wants to be equal with whom? Well, unfortunately, it is the people, my own melanin people, that are said enemies, premeditatedly, deceptively, and disparagingly, and denigratingly named and called black people. They are looking to be equal. It's my people that are called black people, not by our ancestors, but by our oppressors or enemies. They call us black people. They are the ones that are looking to be equal with Caucasian people. The people that they, meaning my own people, in gross ignorance, are led to believe are white. A white people, a white race of people. This said Caucasian people that falsely and deceptively called, named and exalted themselves as white people and have deceived the entire world into thinking and believing that they are indeed white people, that they are white people, and that they are a white race of people. Those are the people that my people, in gross ignorance, an ignorance that is the result of the Belak spell, are looking, trying, and wanting to be equal to and to be equal with. Now, what are some of the reasons why those people or these people were and are so effective in deceiving the whole world into thinking and believing that they are white, that they are white people, and that they are a white race of people? From my perspective, the evidence has shown, and the evidence will no doubt continue to show and confirm that it is because they are mentally, linguistically, genetically, physically, and spiritually possessed with the spirit of deception, aka the spirit of lies. Their native tongue, aka their native language, is lies, or is lie or lies. For example, English language. Consequently, they can't help themselves, my people, but to be deceptive, but to deceive. No, they can't help themselves but to lie. And so they lie about any and everything, and they lie on any and everyone, including themselves. And they will lie about any and everything. They are such pathological liars that they will start out telling you truths that you already know and have proven and have accepted to be factual. And just when you start believing them to be genuine and honest, messengers of the truth, and just when you start accepting them as truthworthy, they poison you with the lie. For your information, this that I'm telling you will not come as a surprise to them, because they know that them lie. And those that are watching and listening to me right now, you know that you lie. You know that you lie. Yes, you know that you lie. You lie. You know that you lie. I heard a brother, in fact, the leader of NFACT, gave a lecture recently where I heard he said that their method of deception is to give you 3 lies and then, rather, 3 truths and then a lie. And just for clarification here, please note that when I say their method of deception, that I do not in the least means NFACT's method of deception, because this language is so messy that you have to spend time to clarify things. But I mean our common enemies and the people that both NFACT leader and I are talking about and are making reference to, namely the Caucasoid and all their collaborators. I take it a bit further and say that they will even give you 9 truths and then the deadly lie. In other words, they will give you 9 glasses of pure alkaline drinking water. And the 10th one is laced with arsenic, aka poison. And they are so skilled, experienced, effective and proficient in their characteristics and ability to lie, and in their practice of lying, that according to their own Adamic race history and holy book, aka the Christian Holy Bible, quote, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies, unquote, from their own book. Psalm 58 verse 3, the King James Version. Meaning, the first word they utter, or the first sound that comes out of their mouths when they are born is a lie and lies. I didn't make this up and say it myself. The author of this psalm said it thousands of years ago. I just read it and quote it for you from their book. Again, from the same Adamic race history and holy book, let me again quote, this time Jesus or Yahushua speaking, allegedly speaking, and I quote, you belong to your father the devil, and you want to carry out your father's desire or desires. He was a murderer from the beginning, not holding to the truth, for there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks his native language, for he is a liar and the father of lies, unquote. Again, from the Adamic race history and holy book, commonly known as the Christian Holy Bible, John chapter 8 and verse 44, the New International Version. And the third quote that I will read from their holy book, hoping that you may get at least an idea, if not an understanding of who and what I am talking about. And it is this, and I quote, and no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light, unquote. 2 Corinthians 11, 14, verse 14, the New International Version. And just for your information, brothers and sisters, my people, the word light is just another word for white. It's synonymous with white. Here's one of their biggest lies, that these Adamic creatures and Adamic descendants have told and deceived and convinced the whole world into believing and accepting as true. And it is that they are white. These people are really and truly the masters of cons. They are very effectively deceived and convinced the whole world into believing that they are really and truly a white people. and that they are really and truly a white race of people. And just to remind you or possibly inform you of some of what white, the word signed and symbol white, what it really by meaning and definition is. Let me remind you what it is. Number one, it means the opposite of black and thus superior to black. And unless a human of sound mind can either logically, rationally, sensibly, philosophically, metaphysically, spiritually, analytically, or otherwise prove to me that opposites are equal and that things that are opposites are equal, then from the Mystic Philosopher's perspective, black is not equal to white. And white is not equal to black. And nor can they be equal. Therefore, a black person or a black human is not equal to a white person or a white human. Were one to be found existing upon this our planet, or were a white human to be found existing upon this planet. And those of you who watch me and listen to me know that I said there is no such people in reality walking around on this planet, visibly can be seen on this planet, and that the people that are calling themselves white, and nothing about them is white. But I've covered that elsewhere. Meaning of white. The word, the meaning of white, the word, the sign, and the symbol continue. It means pure. White means pure. By meaning and definition, pure, the color of clean snow. Please note, not dirty snow, but clean snow. Has no impurity. It means unblemished. It means sinless. It also means innocent. It means unadulterated, etc. Just to name a few. And because they are who and what they are, and are so cunning and effective at being who and what they are, that even those among us, my melanin people, that professed and are professing and have been and are being acknowledged not only by the system, but by the majority of us to be the best minds, the brightest minds, the best educated, the best trained, and from some of the best schools and learning institutions, etc., etc., they have also believed and accepted, and are believing and accepting that these people, these Caucasian people, are really and truly white. Some of these our best and brilliant minds have called the Mystic Philosopher crazy for saying that Caucasians are not at all white. And one have personally accused me of saying inflammatory things about what she believed, or though she believed, and to be white and called white people. In fact, not only did she accuse me, but she has stopped talking to me and removed me from her circle of friends and associates. The problem, I stick to the truth. And the second biggest lie that they have told and have deceived and convinced the whole world into believing and accepting as true is that we, the Earth's original and organic humans of highly melanin, of highly enriched carbon skin, aka Africans, are black. They have effectively deceived and convinced the whole world into believing that we are really and truly black. That we are really and truly a black people. That we are really and truly the black race of people, aka the evil and condemned race of people. And as a result of the spirit of strong delusion emanating from the curse of the black spell, aka the black spell, that they, our enemies, have cast and broadcast upon us, and that they are daily casting and broadcasting upon us. The majority of us, the majority of you, my own people, have not only believed and is believing this lie, but you have accepted it as true, and that you are black. Every day they cast it and they They broadcast it, they are broadcasting it, and they are rebroadcasting it on us. And this is where you get all these people running around calling themselves black, protesting, doing everything to maintain the curse. While I, like the lone voice in the wilderness, just trying to tell people, no, please spend some time and check out the word. Please spend some time, listen. I mean, before you rule out everything I'm saying, please take some time and check it out. Anyway, let me wrap up. I heard someone ask the question, Mystic, can you please give us some more practical examples of how they lie and how they can lie, how they will or may lie on us? They can lie, and they have lied, and they will falsely accuse us of things that we did not do. And they know of a fact, things that they know of a fact that we did not do. The things that they are falsely accusing of, they know that. But that is just their latent, inherent characteristics. The evidence coupled with our own personal experience has shown that is just who and what they are. And it is by their fruits that we know them. They can lie. And they have lied. And they will lie. And call the poor lies, aka the poor lie system, and agents of force on us. You see it happen. And without any human conscience, without any human empathy, or any form of guilt, shame, or humanity, they can and they have and they will have us falsely charged, arrested, have us assaulted, have us maimed, have us mauled by their forces and their forces' vicious dogs. They will have us jailed, have us convicted, have us imprisoned, and even have us killed, murdered, or sentenced to death. You name it. And they can, they have, or they will cause it. And without any form of remorse. In fact, they boast about it. But then again, that is just who and what they are. That is just their inherent and latent characteristics. And it is by their fruit that we know them. And the third biggest lie that I will mention that they have, the whole world believing and accepting as truth, is that the polar or the polar image, or if you prefer picture or painting, of their Caucasoid God and Savior named Jesus Christ, also known as Yahushua, is white. They have the whole world believing that it is a white image, or a white picture, or a white painting. I have seen and heard some of the system's best trained and educated so-called black leaders, black preachers, black professors, black school teachers, black politicians, black doctors, black professionals, black entertainers, black consciousness and enlightened bloggers, black YouTube vloggers or YouTubers, you name them. And not to mention the ordinary so-called people that call this grossly melanin deficient image, or this grossly melanin deficient picture and paintings of the man called Jesus or Yahushua, white. I've seen and heard them. And some of them even turn around and take me to task while trying to prove to me that it is a white image, that the image is white. Get rid of your white Jesus out of your house. Now, back to the question that I asked earlier. Are Caucasian people, aka the Caucasoid race of humankind, are they the epitome of what we, the Earth's pre-Adamic, natural native earthly human, we, the Earth's original and organic humans, we, the Earth's highly enriched melanin and carbon skin human, aka Africans, Our Caucasian people, aka the Caucasoid race of humankind, aka the Adamic race of humankind, are they the epitome of who we should be? What we can be? What we must be? And what we are to become? And the answer is an emphatic no. And why not, some of you imbeciles among us might ask or might be asking? Well, the truth be told, this lecture has already gone past the time that I would have wanted it to finish. And time will not permit me here to say all that I would like to say in my response to this question. But let me share just some basic facts about them. Facts that I have personally observed, experienced, learned through studying them, and my study about them from some of their own books and literatures. Books and literature that they have written about themselves. And just by their fruits, aka them just being themselves, which I've observed. So that some of you that are under the curse of the black spell, aka the black spell, that they have cast and broadcast, that they are casting and broadcasting on us, all might awaken to and be able to see the clear distinction between us and them. And hopefully you too may see who and what it is that has brought nothing but a curse, a bad omen of death, sicknesses, miseries, chaos, disorder, confusion, abomination, wars, terror, fear, suffering, death, and destruction, just to name a few of the evils upon us and upon our Mother Earth. First and foremost, and as much as a lot of you, my people, don't know, and as I have mentioned above, but we are the original, meaning there was none like us before us upon this our mother and planet Earth. To borrow a quote from the late Dr. Abdul Khalid Muhammad, they are just a Johnny come lately upon the earth. Secondly, we are pre-Adam, aka pre-Adamic, meaning we were here and we are here millions of years, if not billions of years, before dear God, the alien interplanetary invader, aggressor, terrorizer, conqueror, enslaver, and destroyer, etc., etc., and their ancestors, the sinful creature, or the sinful creatures called Adam and Eve, were created by dear God and Heavenly Father. We were here long before them, pre-Adamic. Third, we are natures, meaning we are of our mother and source, Mother Nature. And just like our mother and source, we have no beginning and we have no end. Nature have no beginning and no end. And only fools trying to find out, but they are the ones trying to find out where did it all begin. Thou fool, because you just come, you want to find out where you began. But they are creatures. We are natures and they are creatures. Meaning they were created and are being created and recreated. But we were never created. We simply are. And that's something, a concept, an idea that is because we have lost our communication with our ancestors and what has been done to us. A lot of us can't even, just to borrow one of their words, can't even imagine what is the difference between natures and creatures, and that we were not created. We simply are. They cannot understand when I say we simply are. And just like their creator and source, they all know that they have a beginning and that they have an end. The Alpha and the Omega, or the Omega. For which I say, O hasten that day, O my most honorable ancestors, and my ancestral God and gods, when that day will come, and that they will be, and that they will be done, being upon the earth. That day will be done, being among us. Oh, what a day of rejoicing it will be. We will all, we and our Mother Earth, we shall shout, we will sing and shout, victory. Them gone. Wow. Fourth, the blood of innocence, the innocent blood of my ancestors, of our honorable African ancestors, and the mark of evil is upon them, and their justice, aka, which is also known as their retribution, is assured and is at hand, and they know it. That's why they're doing all that they're doing. But again, I've gone past my time. Let me quickly wrap this up. Yes, they know it. Now, with this knowledge and understanding, my people, coupled with the knowledge and understanding of their insane and murderous history, knowledge and understanding of who and what they really and truly are, my question to you, all my melanin people, all my African people, who among us that is in their sound, in their sane, awakened, righteous and enlightened melanin mind, their natural mind, that would want to be equal to them, or look to be equal with people and character like them? Not I, the mystic philosopher. And I will also take the liberty and say, no one. But then again, it's a liberty. I know some of you can help. You know. However, what I do will to see, what I do will to see done is revenge. Revenge equal justice. Revenge equal retribution. That is what I will to see. Justice, revenge. They trick us into believing that when you say revenge is you want to hurt innocent people. That's what they do. They trick us with their language. I tell you, brethren, this language, the English language, trust me, you have to dissect it to get the truth and the message. They tell you about context. Get rid of the con. Let's look at the text. But that's another subject for another time. And again I pray, oh hasten the day, oh my ancestors and my ancestral God and gods, when thy will be done, and when they will be done, when their evil and their vessels of evil be done, being here upon the earth and among us. So, I've gone past my time, so this is the end of this lecture presentation titled Equality or Revenge, another perspective by I, the Mystic Philosopher. From the redemption of the curse of the black spell, aka the B-lack spell, BE-lack spell. And thanks for your patience and for listening thus far and listening here to the end. I humbly ask that you please join me for another of my lecture presentations in the series titled The Redemption from the Curse of the Black Spell, and another perspective, the Mystic Philosopher. I am the Mystic Philosopher. It is high time for reason and for reasoning. Ashe, 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 I say.